Welcome. This is an exciting opportunity to have Ryan Smith with Paycom. And this is one of our amazing corporate partners here in the Huntsman School, Paycom. And we're excited to have this video podcast to explore opportunities for our students to launch careers at Paycom. I'd like to welcome our guest, Ryan Smith from Paycom. Thank you, Ryan, for being here.
Thank you, Sterling, for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, Ryan, why don't you just introduce yourself to our students, tell them a little bit about who you are, your role, and a little bit about Paycom.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my name is Ryan Smith. I've been with Paycom now for a little over 4 years. It's been a fun and wild ride with a lot of growth and a lot of just exciting, kind of changes along the way. But absolutely, have loved my time. And I'm currently a sales recruiter for Paycom, and I focus specifically on the college level. Finding young and hungry talent to join our ever-growing sales force across the USA. So. Been in the job now for a while. Absolutely love what I do.
Wonderful. And I've been fortunate to be able to know Ryan for the last few years. He was actually our first visitor for Paycom. I remember that visit very fondly. And since there's been a number of students that you've interacted with, maybe tell the students that are maybe not as familiar about Paycom, what is Paycom?
Yeah, absolutely. Paycom is cloud-based HR software technology that focuses on human capital management. And for us, our target is around the HR realm of a company. So everything from talent acquisition all the way through retirement and everything in between that. Paycom is providing value through helping companies kind of streamline those HR functions. As I tend to joke with students that, you're young, HR is kind of, toyed around with payroll, did your paycheck show up on time? It did. All right, well, good. But ultimately, as you get older, HR becomes much more an immersive, helpful tool, whether it's, how you're recruited to a company, your time at the company, obviously your payroll, but not only just your payroll, but, how, it's broken down into taxes, expenses, and everything really in between. It's definitely something that as you notice, as you get older, HR becomes more of a value to the employee rather than, something that's strictly just your paycheck. So we have multiple services, including 29 different solutions that we sell to our clients. It's a B2B sell, so we sell primarily to companies, non-industry specific, but mainly targeting medium to large scale companies.
Outstanding. For students that are learning more about Paycom here now, one of the things that I found that our students have loved most about Paycom is as Ryan shares, high-tech, fast-growing industry with an emphasis on selling solutions around HR, right? So students that are really passionate about the employee side of the business and be able to have those types of conversations strategically with your customers. So maybe Ryan, tell them a little bit about the roles that you're recruiting for. Obviously, we're in unprecedented times in this current market environment that we're interacting with this global pandemic. Tell me a little bit about kind of some of the roles that you are recruiting for at Paycom.
Yeah, absolutely. We have multiple roles that we're working with right now, and yes, it is kind of a unique time frame. I can kind of relate to students. I feel like right now, when I graduated college, it was at the height of the recession, the most recent recession. So it's a unique time, but also an opportunity for you to find that right spot for you. Maybe a little bit different than the timing you expected, but so is life. You have to kind of work with what you're given. So. First off, obviously the driving force behind our company and the growth we're seeing is our outside sales team. They're the individuals that are out there on the front line, finding new businesses to sell our software to and really hunting for new clients to show that value to. So that's typically a role that we hire for, right out of college. If we can find the right individual, our expectations are high, but ultimately we're looking for somebody who identifies well with that kind of hunting mentality. Kind of a nutshell version of that is our internship opportunity. Our junior executive sales program is a high-functioning sales internship that gives students the opportunity to see what that outside sales team is really doing day to day. As far as our internship opportunities, we'll hopefully be looking for individuals starting in the fall. Right now, with the summer kind of up in the air, we're looking ahead. Hopefully, by that point, things will have calmed down. With that being said, we also have a couple other positions in our sales offices. One of them is focused more on implementation, helping our new clients come aboard, train, and basically get the full usage of our software that our sales reps are selling to them. a vital position that's more sales support rather than direct selling, but obviously cut from the same cloth as our outside sales team. And then finally, we have an account manager role that also sits in the sales office with our teams. That's more a farming role. For sales students, they're probably familiar with the hunting and the farming mentality. Farmers, our account managers are out there building relationships long-term, keeping our clients, kind of happy with what they're doing, but also showing additional value by, adding new services onto the platform that they've already purchased and everything. So it is more of a sales role, but an opportunity to not so much hunt for new business, but to continue to foster existing relationships.
Well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate hearing about the diversity of roles. One of the things that makes Paycom an exciting opportunity is there's so many different roles. While we call it sales, and a lot of these are selling roles, but there is a diversity and opportunity.
Absolutely.
Maybe let's dive a little deeper into that hunter, because I know that's an area where there's particular opportunity as we come out of this economic recession that we're in now, and come out recovery. Is going to be important to have hunters, isn't it? And tell me about kind of what are the skill sets that you look for, kind of the attributes that you're looking for to find hunters for Paycom.
Yeah, absolutely. The position is a big position. Typically the people that we're putting into those jobs do come to Paycom with some experience under their belt. The students that we're hiring right out of college into that role have some sales experience already under their belt. Maybe they're actively involved with the sales program. Maybe they're in leadership roles. We not only look for people to come in, obviously, as that hunter type of role, but we want somebody that will foster the culture that we have and grow within the company into a leadership role. Maybe that's sales management, and beyond. Really, there's really no ceiling at Paycom. That's the benefit of what we do, is that you start out in an outside sales role, and ultimately you can end up in a regional vice president or an executive vice president of sales. There's just really no, shortage of opportunities at companies as fast as we're growing. But tangible skills, great communicators. Obviously, we want people that can communicate well. Time management is key in this job. I've worked with multiple students that have done our internship or even just getting into the full-time role, and they truly see how important it is to be a good steward of time management and being able to evaluate their day, prioritizing what's important while being able to kind of accomplish those goals. We look for collaborative as well as competitive individuals, people that jump into a culture and really identify well with what we do. I think that's the type of individual who does best for what we're doing. So I understand with college students, there's a lot of broad backgrounds, specifically with, Utah State. The sales program is so dynamic, and a lot of students at the school have done, some form of sales, whether or not, if it's direct sales in like a summer sales job or a sales internship specifically. Ultimately, we look for a lot of different things that kind of help people be successful into that first role.
No, and I think it's really smart for our students to recognize that they have experiences that are sales, right? So obviously, as the director of the Huntsman Pro Sales Program, I would love to see students join that program and be involved. Obviously, it's going to put you in a great position to visit with Paycom. But in addition, leveraging other experiences in your fraternities, sororities, your
100%.
clubs, organizations, right? And and maybe you can speak to that kind of that other extracurricular environment piece. How does that factor in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's 100% what I'm looking for. It's one thing to talk to a student who's got a 4.0 GPA, but has been in classes their whole college career and hasn't taken advantage of any other opportunities. I mean, that's one way of it, obviously, to be successful. But what we look for is we look for kind of the whole package. We look for somebody who has good grades, and ideally is in a sales program or has sales experience, but also is in leadership within a student organization if they can. Obviously, I understand that students have a lot of things going on. They've got to be able to, pay their bills and pay for school. Obviously, that's important and relevant. But if they're able to, I want somebody that's been in, a leadership role and understands how to, again, kind of going back to time management, how to manage their time efficiently to accomplish their goals. So, if I look at a student who's got a 3.4, 3.5 GPA and has been in some leadership roles and is in a sales program and is competing, regionally or nationally in sales competitions, I mean, that to me shows that they are very good at evaluating their time while still being able to be successful in their courses. So, the extracurriculars for me is almost as important. Ultimately, I've worked with so many students the past 4 years that have all had a different background, some form or fashion. And the students that, have done best are usually involved and can take advantage of the time and the opportunities they have and network and realize that there's more to obviously school than just going to classes. It's much more of an immersive, wholehearted, experience that I think leads to that development.
Ryan, one of the things that I think a lot of our students evaluate sales opportunities is based on the income potential of a particular role. Maybe you can speak to the compensation. I think one of the things that I've learned about Paycom is that makes it pretty unique is that this is very much a performance-based compensation plan. Can you maybe speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it is a quota-driven environment, and sales is going to be that, I think, regardless of company. If students are looking at sales as a career path, I would say that first and foremost, be ready for a quota, be ready for a metrics-driven environment with a lot of evaluation, and that's part of it. But on the other side of that is, if you're doing well and hitting your quota, there's a lot of perks. Obviously the compensation that you can make early in your career as a sales representative is easily in the six-figure mark, which, for most individuals, especially when I was in college, six figures was something that
yeah, exactly.
was something to not even really consider. I remember people telling me, don't think you're going to graduate and start making, 70, 80K, which, at that time, was, crazy to even consider. But absolutely, if you do well in your first year, you can make six figures at Paycom, and that number is beyond. I mean, it really is. And not only that, but there's incentives, for sales professionals that are doing well. I mean, whether that's a monthly winter circle, an annual President's Club trip to somewhere usually pretty tropical and on the company's dime. And every company's a little bit different on how they incentivize. But with Paycom, there's just never a shortage, I think, of those incentives, for our sales force. They understand that it's a challenging job, and with challenges comes really high perks and everything. So outside of just the pay, which again, like I said, six figures is not a crazy long shot by any means, especially, even in your first year. This is an opportunity that's not only a job right out of college, but ultimately a potential career opportunity that you could be in for 10 plus years.
All right. So attention Aggies, here's some great things to consider when you think about Paycom. Outside sales, tech, growing tech, even in today's world of this COVID virus. There's going to be awesome opportunities to grow with these organizations, to talk strategically with business leaders about their HR solutions, not just about one, how do you give paychecks to your employees, but thinking strategic HR. But then this compensation opportunity, which is tremendous, that you can make an incredible living and support your interests as well as family interests in this journey. Ryan, how can they find out more? How can they engage with you and your team? What would be the next steps if they're interested in Paycom?
Yeah, absolutely. They can reach me via email is probably the best way to get a hold of me initially. I'm working remote currently right now, as most people are. I'm on my computer pretty much all day long. So my email is ryan.smith at paycomonline.com. So just my first name .smith and then at paycomonline, all one word.com. So pretty simple email. Feel free to reach out to me at any point. All of our job postings are posted on our career page at careers.paycomonline.com. So students can go on there and check us out online and see what's out there. Obviously, with everything kind of going on right now, our time frame and structure is a little bit different than historic times, obviously outside of pre-COVID. But ultimately, I'm still working and speaking with great students and ultimately trying to line up as many people as I can for those first kind of initial interviews.
Perfect. And the links for Ryan's email as well as the career site for Paycom will be found at the end of this podcast. So feel free to click and to reach out to Ryan and the opportunities at Paycom. Maybe finally, what is that typical interview process look like, and kind of what are the steps that students should be prepared for as they go through the process with Paycom?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, I want to get to know these students. I want to hear their background, their story, their why, what drives and motivates them to be successful. Ultimately, I try to provide that same kind of experience to every candidate that I work with. So once I connect with somebody, we'll dive into your background, and I'll lay out our process as well as, more about the job and really dive into, if this is a good fit for that person. The formal process is the first step is going to be meeting with a sales manager. The sales manager will dive into their background and ultimately kind of determine that success and that pattern of success and see if it's a good fit. If the manager is confident in that ability, they'll move them to our second round, which is a regional vice president meeting. Currently have 7 regional vice presidents that cover the whole country. We have 50 different sales offices that we manage all over the U.S. So if they're looking to move out of Utah, we have opportunities all over. And the regional vice president kind of depends on what office they interview in. So and then if the regional VP interview goes well, the last step in our process is meeting with the team in person. Coming in and spending a half day with the team, interacting with them and kind of seeing the culture firsthand. We invite all of our candidates to do a brief presentation. After the presentation's over, you'll spend pretty much the rest of the morning on the phones trying to set some real business appointments. So an exciting kind of tedious process, but we ultimately are aiming to put the right person in the job to begin with. So it's definitely not a position that we take lightly. We want to put somebody that we not only see being successful as a sales rep, but ideally, again, down in leadership and kind of helping the company continue to be one of the fastest growing companies in the country.
Well, this is fantastic. Thank you, Ryan. I want our students to know that Paycom is a great launch, but this could be a career. And and just as you shared, all the people that work with Paycom have multiple years of experience. Have had long tenures with the company. Obviously, it's kind of unique in technology that individuals are continuing and promoting in all different levels, moving up to management within a single tech opportunity like Paycom. So Ryan, thank you for being our guest today, and look forward to having students reach out to you and to continue the engagement. And again, we appreciate Paycom and all that you're doing for the Huntsman School. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Sterling. Excited to continue to foster the relationship and excited to meet some great students.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.